Sensory processing disorder affects how we interpret things in our surroundings. Things that might be seemingly normal for other people are ridiculously, they're enhanced. So smells, sounds, textures, things that you would think are normal in everyday life can be sometimes painful for us to touch, hear, or smell. At least for me, and I know many other people with SPD, like, for example, loud noises really bother me. So I'm in orchestra and in band groups. I wear earplugs constantly, and it's just because I already, on top of having SPD, I have hypersensitive ears. So, I mean, everything is pretty much already louder, and on top of that, I have sensitive ears. So, loud things like hair dryers, car horns, cars. In general, I usually wear earplugs and wearing them because just the sound, and you have to think, like, with hair dryers and stuff like that, they're right up against your head and they're blowing air onto you. First off, you have a sensation of the heat, you have the sensation of the movement of hair, etc., and you have the feeling of it. You mean, it's loud. They are loud. So, other things are like smells, like wet paint. We painted my room sometime maybe last year, and I don't even know why I did, but sometimes you just get so used to the smell. But I mean, you coming into an area with any kind of paint or chemicals in general is ridiculous. I mean, a lot of people don't like the smell of wet paint because it bothers them. Okay, you have to imagine that 50, 100 times worse. Nail polish, cleaning solutions, soap, chemicals to clean the bathroom. They are like hell. They burn. You cannot breathe. It is just so. I mean, sometimes it physically hurts to even be around them. I know that when looking back on my life, I can tell that you can say certain things I did, you could say, yeah, that was SPD. When I had longer hair, I had, like, down to my waist, I chewed on my hair constantly, and everyone, all my friends, my parents, my family members just thought it was disgusting. And and it wasn't that I was just interested. I liked the texture of it. I liked the sound that it made. Things like zippers. I loved zippers. I would just put them in my mouth and I would just, like, suck on them because it's like this metallic taste. And it's not that, people look at you and like, oh, that's not normal. I don't want your kids to do that. It's not a behavioral problem. It is a disorder, okay? It is a disability. It is not behavioral. Things like hoodie strings or shirts, I would put my finger on them and make them straight, and I would put them in my mouth and I would just suck on them, just because I liked the texture, I liked how they tasted, I liked how they were soft. So if your child or anyone you know has SPD, do not judge them and think that it's stupid, annoying. It is a disorder, okay? You need to try to understand what they're going through, and it's not that they're just doing it for attention. Things physically can feel good. I know I have a lot of problem with cotton. I am repulsed by cotton. I cannot stand anything. So clothing, going shopping for clothing or coats or anything like that is very complicated. So I usually just take my pinky and I will, like, lightly rub them to see certain textures, because sometimes it will be cotton and sometimes it's something completely different. So I really have to kind of test the waters before I touch any fabrics, because cotton, oh my gosh, it literally is just like, oh my gosh, I cannot stand it. Like fleece, I don't, I mean, certain textures really bother me. Children and dogs and car horns, like I said before, are loud. They are amplified, and they are usually sudden. So people with SPD they're constantly going to be looking around, like, who is going to make the next noise. And you don't get a warning, like, oh, my child's about to throw a tantrum in 30 seconds, so you might want to cover your ears or get out of this area. Doesn't work like that. It's now. And a lot of times with me, my first reaction is usually to cover my ears, and I mean, occasionally if it's loud or immediate, sometimes like yell like I'm scared, because it is startling. And you have to imagine like someone coming up with you with an air horn, and there's no warning. You're blindfolded. You are blind to things around you. You cannot interpret what you're going to touch, hear, smell. You cannot prepare yourself. I have like another thing is like some kind of like paper, like I don't know, they use it like crafting paper, like kids paper. It's like this cottony kind of soft paper. Ooh, it is repulsive. It has that same cottony smell. I cannot stand it. And the thing is, I use it in one of my classes in high school. So touching it is like, ooh, that's all bad. I do not like it one bit. So because my ceramics teacher wants us to draw out what we're going to sculpt before we sculpt them. And the other thing is, my brain does not work like that. My brain is, I have to be hands-on and physically move things around, because, well, one, I'm a terrible drawer, and two, I'm repulsed by the paper. Ceramics is terrible. I love it. I love that I can work with my hands. It is my favorite class, but at the second, it's worst classes. Because I love to mold these things with my hands. I mean, at first, before I even started the course, I was very skeptic that I wouldn't be able to even touch the clay, but after feeling it, I eventually figured out I could. So after a while, there's certain kind of like paint that you can paint them with, like a glaze, and so I don't know if it's certain colors or certain mixtures, but someone opens one and I was literally gagging in the room, and people don't understand, like, people next to me are like, oh, it's not that bad, and it is so bad. It makes my eyes water, and I have to literally breathe out of my mouth. I can't breathe out of my nose. The other thing is, like, the pottery wheel clay is different from hand molding clay, and it's like this yellow versus gray for if you're working with just your hands, and it is like 1,200 times worse than the paint, and I am so scared to get on there, because I don't know what it's gonna I don't know what it's gonna feel like. I don't know if it's gonna be the same, but I can't even go near it at this point, and I haven't even told the teacher this. And I already feel like a moron wearing earplugs and stuff in class. I feel stupid that I've been gagging in front of everyone. And it scares me that I'm gonna have to just do it, and it's scary because I don't know how my body's gonna react. I can't even be within 2 feet of this stuff, let alone have it in my hands in front of me. So when I actually have to do this, I don't want to wear nose plugs, because there are really no nose plugs you can get that are not all that noticeable. So, yeah. SPD is just, everything's amplified, and it's things are loud and they're just abrupt. And I mean, it's not a behavioral problem like many people think. It's not. Many people think, oh, SPD, you have to have autism with it. Okay, yes, I am on the autism spectrum disorder, but we found out about SPD before we found out about autism, because we realized after the diagnosis that, oh, well, look, here's one more thing you have. So, I'm hoping this helps people, so thank you for watching.